What's up, guys? My name is Eric, and this is how to cure depression. I have the magic cure to depression. At least people seem to think so sometimes. If you're new to my channel, my name is Eric. I deal with ADHD, PTSD, GAD, MDD. Those are my diagnoses. I take medication. I'm a recovering addict when it comes to alcohol and cocaine. I lost a wife and a father to suicide. I've self-harmed before. I've struggled with suicidal thoughts before. And I share a lot of my experiences and tools and coping skills that I've learned through life to maybe help somebody else out there struggling. If you haven't hit the like and subscribe button, hit it. And let's do this together. I am very active on TikTok. For a long time, almost over a year and a half, I put my phone number out there for anybody struggling. And at first it was fun, and then all of a sudden it got to the point that I'm getting 5,000 plus text messages a day, and I ended up having to stop from that just to get a mental break. But one of the things I got texted a ton, and I still even get asked a lot, is how did you cure depression? What was the magic cure to depression? I'm going to give you that magic cure of how I cured depression. This is how I cured depression. Are you ready? Let me grab this. This is big. All right, are you ready? There isn't one. There is no magic cure for depression. And I haven't cured my depression. I am diagnosed with MDD. It is essentially clinical depression. It doesn't mean that I'm always going to be frowning and I'm always going to be crying and it's always going to be in the forefront. It can be in the backdrop sometimes, and sometimes it almost feels like it's completely gone. But it's not. It's there. That is what depression is. And that's the biggest thing I feel from a non-therapeutic, non-counselor, non-doctoral point of view is that if you really want to start fighting through your depression, the first thing is you got to realize is there is no quick cure. There is no magic pill. And that nobody out there, especially when you're looking through social media, has cured their depression. Social media is one of the worst tools, I actually think, for depression because you look at everybody's Instagram, you look at their TikToks, you look at their Facebook, and nobody really talks about how shitty things are going. They're showing all the good shit. And you got to remember that 1 out of 4 people struggle with a mental illness. So there is no magic cure for it. Now, there are things that help with depression. Now, admitting and acknowledging that, hey, the depression isn't going to go away, and you know what? I probably have depression. That first part, if you really want to start working through the depression and finding out how to manage it and to fight with it every single day, when you start to really think that you might have depression, you go see a therapist. Because self-diagnosing is one of the most dangerous, worst things you can do. And here's an example why. If you self-diagnose, say there's three symptoms I could self-diagnose myself with. I could self-diagnose myself with insomnia, anxiety, and depression. I have those 3. Those 3, though, can also be the cause of just one, which is MDD. So that is one of the reasons why you don't self-diagnose. CPTSD can be misdiagnosed with BPD and vice versa. ADHD and bipolar can be misdiagnosed, and these aren't even by doctors. Us self-diagnosing and not even knowing what the fuck we're dealing with, that makes it even more difficult. Even when we are self-diagnosing, that we're not getting the right treatment and right therapy plans that we need, and that is why it is so important to get with a doctor. It's also important to have support. Having support is very important because a lot of times when it comes to family members and friends, they're going to try and fix you, and they're going to try and tell you how they got through it and what they're doing. They're not going to share and really open up with you and going, dude, I'm still fucking struggling, bro. I'm still struggling. They're going to say how to cure it. You got to change your appetite and your eating and your diet. You got to go out and exercise more. You need to get outside more. You need to take more walks. They're going to start giving you this bullshit. And that's sometimes not the case. I mean, there's many reasons behind depression. And that's why it's so important. I mean, our brain does have different chemical levels in it. For example, I'm a recovering addict from alcohol. Alcohol is known to burn out dopamine in your brain. Well, dopamine's the happy chemical in your brain. So sometimes we need medication to even go and help us with those levels. And sometimes if you're even like me, when it comes to getting the right meds, it's trial and error. I don't take antidepressants. Now, I'm a firm believer in antidepressants. I know a lot of people that Prozac works for, Lexapro works for, Wellbutrin works for, Zoloft works for. I mean, these are great medications. They didn't work for me. It's part of my trial and error. Doesn't mean that meds are bad. I do take medication for my ADHD. So I'm not anti-meds at all, but it's finding the right meds. And if the meds aren't working for you, then starting to find different coping tools. Whether it's digging in, finding goals and passions. So to help distract you on those bad days that you can look back at your accomplishments. That you get the positive reinforcement from support on those bad days and knowing that it's okay and that it will pass. Of being able to voice your opinions, a voice your pain, to let that out, because there is a lot of healing when it comes to venting and to sharing. Because it gets our brain going. It gets our brain thinking of a solution or what we want to do, or maybe, what we can do to make us feel a little bit better at that moment. There is no magic cure, though. If you're looking for that magic cure, you're going to exhaust yourself, and depression is only going to get worse. I mean, you're missing out valuable time with a therapist. You're missing out valuable time as trial and error. Get with the doctor, get with the therapist, and get the right help. You'll be amazed what it can do. I mean, it is amazing once you put everything together and it all starts to work for you, how amazing life can be again. And that you don't have to struggle, that you can work through it. So realize that, slow down with it. There are different even organizations out there, and sometimes people will say, well, you know what, I can't afford therapy. That is the case too. Well, you know what, down below I have the Discord links to my mental health communities. I mean, they're free, it's peer-to-peer support, and that's not even for everybody. But there's also groups like NAMI.org that is really a mental health community. It's kind of like AA essentially for mental health, where you can go and relate to other people that are struggling, because that's the beauty of when we struggle and we share with other people, is it lets us know that we're okay. It's getting that reaffirmation that we're okay and that we can fight through, and that we start looking at ways to manage it instead of ways to cure it, of that quick fix, because we're in a society and we're in a days and age where we want a quick fix. We want it to be quick fix. And you're going to have to celebrate those good days, and on those bad days, know that it's okay to be not okay. And then a good day comes back, and you know what? It's okay to be okay. And people may just say that you're moody. People may say that. People might say you're doing it for attention. Those are the times that you got to cut those people out of your life. Because some people don't even truly understand depression. And that's why when we are depressed and we're looking for that quick cure and we're diagnosing ourselves with it, that's where that stigma comes from. When people don't truly understand what depression is. I mean, depression, there's different diagnoses for. And there's different underlying reasons for. And not all of them are chemically induced. I mean, you may have lost somebody to suicide. You may have lost a loved one to cancer. It may have been a death in the family. There's many reasons, and that's why it's not only like a psychiatrist is going to help, but there's also why there's psychologists. I mean, that's what it's about, is finding what works for you and trial and error through it. Not looking for the quick solution, but putting together a game plan where you can overcome it over time and celebrating those victories along the way. I mean, I believe in you. I've been at those moments where I've laid in bed and I smell like shit and I haven't changed my covers in days and days, and it just reeks, and I can feel the film on my teeth, and I can just feel just the grease, and my hair's growing out all over the place, and I haven't taken a shower, and I'm barely going to the bathroom, and it's a nightmare mess. But it's fighting through that and realizing that you can. And you know what? Reminding yourself of the little victories in life, like the days that you took a shower, you ate, you brushed your teeth, you changed your clothes, you change your sheets. There's 5 goals already that you accomplished, that there was days that you never even accomplished that. That's how amazing you are. So celebrating those small victories is huge. You can do it. You don't have to be a victim to your mental illness. I mean, you can fight through this shit. You can fight back. You don't have to sit there and take it. And you are amazing. So don't ever forget that. I mean, hit that like and subscribe button. Comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. I'd love to hear your thoughts on how you've been able to even fight through depression. I have links down in the description to all my different mental health communities for peer-to-peer support on the Discord. I even have links to all my different social medias down there. If you want to reach out to me, feel free to. I even have links down there to things on Amazon that I use for coping when it comes to anxiety and depression, like fidget spinners, fidget cubes, weighted blankets. Even have a link down below to BetterHelp. You know what? Try it. It's online therapy. It's trial and error to see what works for you. And what works for me might not work for you, and vice versa, but that's part of trial and error, is finding out what works for you. Because you got to remember that you are the most important person in the world. You're a BAMF. You're a badass motherfucker. You've made it through 100% of your worst days to make it through 2 today. And that's how amazing you are. You got this. We got this. So let's do this together.